Hey guys, so let's talk about installing MySQL and DBeaver in your Windows machine. So just go to Google and search MySQL download, and it will show you a home page. Click on MySQL downloads, scroll little down, and click on MySQL Community GPL downloads. Now click on MySQL installer for Windows and just download the MSI installer, which is around 303 MB. Click on the download button. Now just say no thanks, just start my download. So save your file in any location. I'm storing it under downloads. So wait for 1 to 2 minutes. The download should be complete. Okay. So the download is complete. Just go to take me to the downloads folder and you have MySQL installer community version downloaded successfully. Let's try installing this. So double click on it. Now it will say, do you have to make changes on your device? Just say yes. Known publisher to make changes to your device, say yes. Type which product you want to install. Do you want to install only server, or do you want to install client only, or you want to install full, or you want to customize it? You can just save full and go ahead. Now it says in which location you would like to install. If you have already installed that, then the path might exist, and you can just say next, say yes, and they are all now ready to install. Just say execute. Say next. Say next. Now it will ask you to configure the port number. The port number by default is 3306. So let's keep it as it is. Okay. So you can set your root password. We will keep the password root. Just say check if it's acceptable or not. We have used root as a password. Click on check and it says correction successful. Say next. Say next. Say execute. So the configuration for MySQL server was successful. Click finish to continue. Click on finished and your installation is completed. Okay. So now you can quit this screen. Now let's go ahead and start downloading DBeaver. Download. Click on DBeaver community. Now go to Windows installer version. Say save. Okay, so this is done. Now let's go to the folder. DBeaver is downloaded, community edition, which is free. Double click on it and let us try to install this. Say okay. So next, I agree. Next, next, next. Stop. So you can say create desktop shortcut and just paste. Now let's go and see if successfully to our MySQL. So just search D. Click on it. Okay. So once DBeaver is installed, you'll get to this screen. Now let us try to create a connection with our local SQL, with our local MySQL database. So go to file and say new and database connection. Say next. Now DBeaver is a global SQL client, which means no matter what kind of database you are using, you can connect to MySQL, Oracle, or any other databases using DBeaver. Okay. In our case, we want to create a client for MySQL, right? So just say MySQL next, a local host, and you know the password was root, and just say all right. Now, when you try to do that, it will say, hey, you want to talk SQL, but you need to download a driver which is missing. Let's do one thing. Let's go to Maven repository and we can just download it from there. And it would take you to mysql.java, and this would also work. So it says this artifact was moved to some other place. Just click on it, it's fine. And from here you can download the jar. Okay, so let's go to this 9.0, and if you see, you have an option to download the jar file from here. So let's click on it and let me keep under my downloads itself. So I'll say save. So this jar file is downloaded. So let's say force download, edit the driver and go to library and let us try to add the file. Let's go to download and we will include jar jar. Okay. Now if you see, we are able to establish the connection successfully. Okay. Now this DBeaver also comes with a script. So you can say SQL editor and say new SQL script, which means it will give you a script and execute this query. Just say refresh, and if you see, we have got MySQL training. Now, if you run any command like create any table or insert any record into the database, first use underscore and run this query, and you will see once that is done, this would change. For any reason it's not changing, just select this. That's fine. Okay, a small UI bug. So done. Now, if you want to create any table, you can just say create table employee. So create table employee, and remember it is pointing to MySQL training. Just say execute. Done. Okay. So once this is done, you can go to MySQL training and say refresh. Right click, refresh, go to your table, and if you see, you have got an employee table. Okay, double click on it and you can see the data here. If there are any data, if there are no data, you insert the data from here saying 1 Suraj 5000 and just say save. Done. Okay, so this is how you can install MySQL in your Windows and install DBeaver in your Windows and connect them together. To while connecting, it will ask you to add the driver and it should be able to download that automatically. But if there are any bugs, then you can basically go to Maven repository and download the jar file and include that in your DBeaver so that the correction can be successful. Okay, so that's all we have from this lesson.